Greetings and salutations, viewer. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hello.
This is the Two Nerds podcast, and today, holy shit, a lot of games news happened this last week.
But that's actually not what we're talking about first. Well, first, we're going to talk about what was crumping. Because that's what we talk about first here.
It is what we talk about first here. It's nice to catch up. It's, most podcasts do this, I feel. Some of them do it prompted, some of them don't.
Yeah. Well, we decided prompted was better.
Yeah.
We like the name of the segment.
Yes. What's crumping with you, my guy?
I'm keeping up with Critical Role.
I'm so sorry.
I continue to think it's fun. It is they're reaching the climax of the first big arc of campaign 4. This is the first Critical Role campaign I have both started when it started and continued watching.
I tapped out. I can't.
I am noticing it's taking a lot of the time that my brain uses to watch other narratives. And that is something I have to factor in.
That's absolutely part of the reason for me, because, I would be watching it on 1.25 and sometimes 1.5 speed to get through it.
And that's not what you want.
No, that's not enjoying a narrative, and that is time I could have spent, exploring something else.
Yeah, it's not like it's even all that much absolute time. It's between 3.5 to 5.5 hours a week. But the problem is, even if it's like something I could get done on a lazy Saturday every week, because I have Beacon, my brain only has so much space for a big narrative thing I'm watching, and Critical Role seems to take up a pretty large chunk of it.
I agree with that. I like to be doing things. I like to be active and stimulated. I'm not very good at just sitting there watching stuff. Even when I'm watching shows I like that I've talked about and will talk about a little later, I'm usually also using that time to play Animal Crossing or Tomodachi Life or something that doesn't take my full attention. So that I can enjoy those narratives while keeping my hands busy, as it were.
Whereas I'm perfectly good at watching stuff, but only slop. If it's bullshit slop content that I'm not invested in, I can mainline that all day. But something I actually give a shit about, I only have so many slots for.
One of the benefits of Dopamine Machine Broke is it's difficult for me to doom scroll for too long. Because that's how they get you. Each one of those reels or TikToks or short form videos, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't make me go, yeah, that felt good. Now another. It just makes me go, all right, I guess we're doing this.
What about you? What's been going on with you?
I finished season 6 of Barney Miller on my Barney Miller retro quest. A lot of season 6 wasn't great, but the last few episodes were really strong. I'm missing Nick Yamana, man. He died last season. The real actor died. This was, 40 plus years ago.
In the 70s.
Yeah, in the late 70s. Without him, without Fish, and without Chano, who's been gone for a while,
the vibe's different.
The vibe is different. I still like the main cast, and they really brought it together for the last few episodes, but
I tell you what, man, that show's hypnotic. I'm not watching it along with him. I haven't, but I've seen a fair few number of episodes that have just been on in the living room when I happen to be in it. And every time it's on in my presence, I end up watching it. Instead of doing whatever it was I was doing, I end up watching Barney Miller. It's hypnotic.
It was a good show.
Honestly, it is. It's clever. It makes literary references and it has cultural commentary that you don't even see in modern cop shows. They did a whole episode about civil asset forfeiture in the 70s.
It feels a lot like X-Men comics used to, except without the dumb shit.
It's just I do know that I'm never gonna watch the whole series, but every time I catch an episode that he's watching, I have a pretty good time.
I can't say that there's ever been one that's just a stinker that I watched going, this is terrible. So, it's watchable. It's got that going for it. I also tried to get into some anime. My goal in a little break from watching Yu Yu Hakusho, since I managed to fulfill that commission request for June on the first day of June, is I wanted to watch something else. Like, I wanted to watch Sailor Moon, because I've never sat down and watched it all. And I tried to watch the one with the new voice actors, the better script, the better translation. And they're just not. There's not as much character.
They don't get the vibe.
No. So my other options then are to try to watch it in Japanese, which is how I failed to watch it last time, because like I said, I wanted to be doing something else while I'm watching TV. I cannot just sit there and read.
Yeah, he doesn't actually speak Japanese, so it's difficult to watch a subtitled thing and also do something else.
Yeah. And then I could try to track down the original cut, but that's not the actual show. So,
no, that would just be purely for the nostalgia of watching the thing from when you were a kid.
Yeah, and that's not my point here. So, back to the drawing board on that one. I did try to watch a couple of other anime. I would report on them, but I don't remember their names. So,
and I think maybe you watched an episode or two of a couple. So that's even enough.
Yeah. So,
that is only enough to determine if you don't want to watch a thing. Not enough to determine if you want to watch it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I don't even know if it's that much for some of them. If I turn it on and it doesn't make my ears go, I've got to leave, then, maybe give it another episode before you decide whether or not you can't stand it. Mm-hmm. The big thing that we both did, Crump-wise, the very day the last podcast went up, that night.
We literally recorded the podcast, and then, set it to upload, and the day it was uploading, we went to go see a movie.
Yes, my compatriot really wanted to see Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, I really liked the new Mortal Kombat movie when it came out a few years ago. It was fun. I liked the new character. I thought he fit well into the Mortal Kombat world. I liked the setup for the tournament that I believe they did at the end of the first movie. I liked the Raiden actor and, generally what they were doing. It wasn't, the best thing in the world, but Kano was really fun. And he got killed, so I was, curious as to where they were going to go with that. That's in the first movie. Spoilers for the first Mortal Kombat movie that's several years old. Kano dies. But I liked the movie. It was fun, and I really wanted to see the second one in theaters because the first one had some cool fight scenes, and the second one actually was supposed to be the tournament, I gathered, so it was probably going to have a lot more cool fight scenes, and it's fun to see those on the big screen.
I remember being somewhat underwhelmed by the first movie, but I can't quantify as to why. It was long enough ago that I don't
Yeah,
remember.
That's fair.
And then we did. We went and saw it. This is usually where we would say something like, spoiler-free review, man, head to those theaters and see that Mortal Kombat. It's gone. We waited till the last minute. It's not there
you
anymore.
can't. Haha. If you missed it, we got it in the last day.
Unless you live in a place that still has a dollar theater.
Man, I miss having a dollar theater. I recognize it's 2026. It'd be like a $2.50
sure.
theater now. That's fine. Do that. It's not like look, I've got the money for regular theater pricing, but there's something different about the dollar theater. It's like a different experience.
Sometimes you want to go to Dollar General to grocery shop and be like, wow, this is terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. These seats are all broken, and I don't think this could be legally qualified as popcorn.
Yeah, sometimes you want to slum it. Sometimes there's a movie that does not deserve the full theater, but you still kind of want to see it on a bigger screen. So,
what are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat?
I thought it was really fun. I don't think it was a terribly good movie, but I think it was a really fun movie. It had a lot of cool fight scenes, it had a lot of fun, tropey moments, and a lot of funny jokes. Spoilers for Mortal Kombat 2. Kano's back. And he's the best thing in the movie again. So, also spoilers for Mortal Kombat 2. The new guy is gone.
This is kind of the reverse of the Mario movie for me. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast. I know we reviewed Mario Galaxy, but the further away from that movie I get, the more frustrated I am with its plot inconsistencies and character inconsistencies. It was still pretty, and it was still fun, but as a whole, I don't think it was as good as the first one. And the first one wasn't that good. It was, what's the phrase you use? It was member berries. The first one was.
Yeah, and I remembered those berries, so it was a good time.
But it also had a core that it strung itself around. It wasn't very big, but it was big enough to support the berries. Mario Galaxy, despite all the money it's making.
Mario Galaxy was a theme park ride more than a movie.
Yeah. The movie you watch during the queue to a theme park ride.
Like, it was just, look at the thing. Remember Thing? And then there's a big explosion, and there's a chase scene. Just the movie never stops, because if it ever stops, the crushing weight of its lack of of how nonsensical it is will flatten the movie. They're outrunning an avalanche of logic, and they just gotta keep going.
So for me, Mortal Kombat is kind of the opposite of that. I was really disappointed. It was still a core around which berries were rotating, but I didn't feel like the core was very strong, and the berries were not substantial enough to make me forget that they were rotating around something that just didn't thrill me.
Yeah.
But
there was a lot of, hey, it's the thing from the game.
Yeah, and a lot of my reaction was, well, yes, of course it is. Now, sometimes that's awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it's so cool that they gave a shit enough and paid enough attention that literally some of the combo moves, not just the special moves, but like the main attack sequences were right from those games.
That's really cool.
I don't know how much the old ones, but the more recent ones, absolutely. And it kind of follows the plot of...
I didn't see a lot of guys punching really, really way too high over and over and over again, so probably not many of the old games.
It kind of follows the plot of Mortal Kombat 11, like a rehash of it. But what it did make me realize is I give a shit about the lore of Mortal Kombat way more than I thought.
Whereas I don't.
And by which I don't mean to say that, oh, they adapted it and they changed stuff, so now I'm mad. Except for Sindel, nobody ever puts Sindel in something that isn't the games and does her justice. She never has any depth of character. She never has any nuance outside of the games. I hate that. I wish they would stop doing that. But it was just that there are, wrinkles and layers to these characters, and they were really reduced down to one note. And if you're going to a Mortal Kombat movie to see the fight scenes and cool fatalities and big scenery, then yeah, none of that shit matters. In fact, I was reading the trivia on it, and according to, I believe, the director, the movie was a lot longer, but they cut out all of the plot and characterization stuff for more fight scenes.
Because that's what people want to go to the Mortal Kombat movie for. That's what I was there for. Look, the Mortal Kombat games, the modern ones, have very well told, very intricate stories that take place over the length of a game, which is maybe 10 to 20 times more than the length of a movie.
Yeah.
So they're going to be better stories. Yeah. They just have more time. They just have more time to do character development. You can't do the character development that happens in a game and a movie. This is why I don't want a Red Dead Redemption 2 movie. I don't want it. It won't work. You hear me, Hollywood? It won't work. It won't work.
I think a series would be fine.
A series would be fine because you can develop enough time.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat movie doesn't have enough time to be nuanced. No. It has enough time to do fatalities. It has 2 hours, and genuinely 2 hours is less than the compilation videos of fatalities from the games. So it doesn't even have enough time to do all of those.
I was worried I wasn't going to like Johnny Cage, and because he gets very Miz-like, and I know Miz was in the running to play him for a while. So I was concerned about that, but no, it was fine. Carl Urban did a good job.
Yeah, they went a very specific direction with it. They went with
fine.
Old, bitter, washed up Johnny Cage.
But a lot of things that happened in that movie were very much, including this, spoilers, moment, Johnny Cage going, I've got powers now, and then using the powers.
Oh, that's not fair. That's not a fair summary of that moment. That is a big, climactic moment of character triumph that is the literal climax of the final fight scene in the movie.
Which is why it's made all the worse by being absolutely inexplicable and only foreshadowed by the fact that everyone went, wow, Johnny Cage doesn't have powers? I wonder if maybe he'll get powers later.
They set that up in the first movie. They set up that's how the powers work in this Mortal Kombat universe in the first movie.
They scrapped all that. They didn't talk about the midichlorians anymore.
They literally, I think like 30 to 40 minutes of the runtime of the first movie was them doing like a training sequence to try and get their powers to activate.
Nobody remembers that shit.
Well-established lore from this version of the Mortal Kombat universe.
Nobody remembers that shit. Anyway, But as I move further away from it, I can look back and go, you know what? That scene was pretty cool. That joke was pretty cool. I am more fond of it in the time since. I think it was the shock in the moment of, well, this is not enough.
I am genuinely surprised you did not love the incredibly tropey, over-the-top 80s action sequence of him when they did a clip of him in his movie. That's the exact kind... Honestly, this whole movie is the exact kind of action movie you profess to love.
I was understanding that as I was watching it. I was having an internal argument with myself, and it's just because it's Mortal Kombat, and I think the characters deserve more than that. I'm the violent profiles guy. I don't know if you guys have seen... I mean, it stands to reason that you either don't watch this show or you don't watch Violent Profiles, but... If you guys have seen the main show on this channel, what has become the most popular show on this channel, I literally sit around talking about the bios, backstories, and endings of characters from fighting games. So yeah, of course this is the thing I give a shit about the most.
Absolutely. It makes sense. I'm sad for you, not judging you.
If this wasn't Mortal Kombat, I think I would have watched it and been like, that was fucking dumb and fun.
Because it was dumb and fun. It's not trying to be a smart movie. It's trying to be a fun movie, and it succeeds.
Yep. So that's our review of that. Anything else you wanted to say before we move along?
No, I don't think so.
All right, then. Well, let's talk about that old link tree in the description. If you click on through there, you can find links to our Discord where you can come chat about stuff so long as you're not a jerk. The books that I have written, there are so many of them, you could purchase them and read them. I think Start Again is a great place to jump into the COLT REGAN series. That is an urban fantasy with elements of comedy and mystery and drama.
And action.
And action, yeah, horror. And Red Company, the first book of an eventual trilogy, is available. That is a cozy isekai lit RPG. I don't know that I'd call it progression fantasy, despite being all those things.
Honestly, yes. Your Red Company is an excellent example of the actual bifurcation between lit RPG and progression fantasy. It is an RPG. It is not a progression fantasy.
But you can also head to the Patreon. Starting at $1, you get gameplay episodes a week early. Up from that, you get Violent Profiles a month early. There are exclusive videos and TTRPG content on there. Wizards and Whites is a fantasy game like that big popular one that sends the Pinkertons after you. And Giallo Punk is set in the same world as the COLT REGAN books. You can request podcast topics, request games for us to play. And if you were a real mensch, you would just like, comment, subscribe, and share the video around. It pumps us up in the algorithm, and that means more people see our stuff. And that means that, we get more support. We're not like in a big dire situation, but like there is a reality where, a lot of the content on this channel would have to go away if certain things change. So, if you support us, you can ensure that doesn't happen.
Pretty much.
As we said at the top of the show, it is a big week for nerd news, mostly in the gaming world, but there's other stuff going on, and we would like to start with one thing. Ghostbusters is getting a new animated series on Netflix next year called Ghostbusters Night Shift. The logo, as you can see behind us, is sort of a jonklerized Ghostbusters ghost.
Yeah.
This is the part where I mentioned that I really haven't seen much Ghostbusters. I've probably seen 75% of the original movie in clips and reviews and catching parts of it on USA over my life. And I would say 20 to 50% of the second movie in clips and catching it on USA.
You would know if you'd seen more of the second movie.
I liked the pink emotional slime. That was pretty funny. And I did watch some of the animated series when it was first running.
I've seen more. I've seen both original movies. I've seen some of the various animated series. And I have seen none of any of the modern movies. Anything from the all-female reboot in 2016 up through, I think there was like 2 movies in the Ghostbusters franchise in like the last 10 years.
Yeah,
since
with
then,
the new kids. Yeah,
with like Finn Wolfhard and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happens in those movies. Look, Ghostbusters is a good movie, guys. It is, but it's a good movie because Bill Murray and like Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd are funny. It's not because of the concept.
You leaving my homeboy Ernie Hudson out in the snow, huh?
No, I couldn't remember his name, and I knew you would.
Yeah.
I was leaving that one for you.
Thanks, pal.
Ernie Hudson is also amazing, but the concept isn't worth 19 reboots over 30 years and another attempt at just let it go.
I mean, some people love it, you know? People still dress up as the Ghostbusters. There's official, like, leagues and stuff.
As long as there is still oil in that well, they're gonna keep fucking pumping. I understand.
I will say I did also see about 15 or so minutes of the all-female Ghostbusters. I didn't like it, but not because Goyles. It was because it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I want to be super clear. It's not because they're women. I'm not that guy. Look at my preferences in fictional characters. Listen to the previous podcast. I'm very much not that guy.
No.
It's because I don't like any of those female comedians. I think they're all really bad.
Some of them I do like, but like if that 15 minutes I watched of the movie, and it was like a big scene, they were like fighting ghosts in a theater or something, if that was indicative of the overall comedy, it was not good comedy. It was really dumb, really banal.
Kate McKinnon can be funny. I
like
tell
her.
a lie.
I like most of that cast.
The rest of them never chuckled. Not once. So I gave it a pass.
Yeah.
Because if the main comedians in the Ghostbusters movie aren't the kind of comedians who make you laugh, there's really no reason to be there.
So, enough about Ghostbusters. Let's talk about many, many video games. We had a PlayStation State of Play, a Summer Game Fest, and an Xbox Game Showcase. The same day this podcast is going up, there's also a Nintendo Direct. Now, obviously, we don't have time travel powers, so we can't cover that stuff in this big game.
You know what? That's great. We'll have more nerd news for you next week.
So we're going to go over things. Obviously, this is going to get higher or lower attention based on our interests. So please, by all means, look up stuff, look at other podcasts. We can't be your only source of news and information. We're not a news podcast.
Also, I'm not going to sit around and talk about a bunch of shit I don't care about.
I feel a little bit like the main character of my Colt Regan books, Colt Regan, insisting he's not a detective while constantly solving mysteries.
Yeah.
Anyway, God of War, Laufey. They say Laufey. I don't like that. I think this looks really fun. I think this looks way better than any of the God of Wars.
Would you like to know why?
It's faster.
Well, there's a funny joke I saw in the comments that I'm going to steal. I'm going to say, it was in the comments. I am stealing this.
Thank you, John Constantine. Or Constantine.
Laufey gave Kratos her axe and her shield. Kratos gave Laufey his double jump and his ability to run.
I don't know.
And his air combos. This game plays a lot more like the old God of War games.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I've never played any of the old ones.
It's just visually, she can air combo, she can double jump, she's a lot faster. She plays more like original flavor Kratos than Kratos from the new games.
I like Deborah Ann Wall.
Yeah, Deborah Ann Wall's great. This looks like a fun series.
It looks very colorful.
Yeah, very bright, very shiny.
Yeah. I don't know that I will play it, but I am so much more likely to play this one than the other God of War games. I don't like Kratos. I think you like Deborah Ann Wall. And she seems fun and interesting, and I kind of like the story that got going on here.
I like the idea of her fighting a bunch of gods of war from different mythologies. I like the power set. That looks fun and cool. I do really think it's funny that, like, one of the first things Kratos says to Atreus is, "She is at rest now," and then we can hard cut to this game.
I want to mention Control Resonant so that a guy from Ohio doesn't beat me up. Another Control game. Control, the franchise that people love.
Yes, that's just true. People do like it. I don't know why. I played it. It was mid.
It just didn't capture me. I can definitely see why.
The world building actually was really cool. I didn't like the gameplay.
And that was basically
in a video game. That's the thing you have to like.
I wasn't super
prepare impressed. To hear that shit a lot more. It's actually foreshadowing for later.
Later, when he just says, "If you don't like the gameplay, that's the main thing in a game." That's foreshadowing. It's that Johnny Cage foreshadowing. Until Dawn 2 got an announced trailer, which. Man, the change in terminology between teasers and trailers and whatnot, and this is a nice big thick boy.
None of those words mean anything.
No, they don't anymore, and that makes me sad. But I'll still try to ascribe, meaning to them.
Teaser for you is a name card, maybe like a black screen with some voiceover.
Yeah.
One big symbol.
Yeah.
You might see like a guy.
Right. And I suppose announced trailer, they are announcing the game, and this was a longer trailer. I liked the first Until Dawn. This one also seems interesting. It's got the same vibe, and most importantly, Peter Stormare is there.
Oh, well then I'm in.
Silent Hill Townfall seems fucking scary. No thank you. I don't really play horror games anymore. I just don't want to feel like that. I'm also a fat person in their 40s. And that seems like a great way to have a heart attack. Onimusha Way of the Sword. I don't care about Onimusha, but,
I
I'm
really
sure
liked the Onimusha game I played way back in the day, but I only did play the one.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I haven't.
Jean Reno was in it.
Yes, he was. I think it was the third one. The Lost Wild, they called this a trailer. I don't agree with that. This was more of like an extended teaser. Show me some fucking gameplay. It's supposed to be like Dino Crisis, and I really liked Dino Crisis. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from it. This wasn't it. I watched the trailer for Kamuri Hunt the Unseen.
I also watched the trailer for Kamuri Hunt the Unseen.
This looks almost good.
This has they really there's a lot. This is very saturated game. It reminds me of more than anything Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive's a good comparison. It's got a lot of Watch Dogs 2's fashion sense and style, but like mechanic closer to Sunset Overdrive. And it has a little bit of Souls-like flavor in there as well. They're fighting yokai in Kamuri Hunt the Unseen. I can't tell if it's something that I think would be really good or if I would not like it at all, and it really does come down to how it feels in my hands.
I just know I'm never going to end up playing this game.
Wolverine.
Now, Wolverine, I am down with. This looks fun. This looks very much like, just a... God, I likened it to like an Assassin's Creed game, maybe, or like an Arkham.
It's
like
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, it's Marvel Spider-Man, but now you murder the shit out of people. Holy fuck!
Something about it. I know I'm not a fan of his voice. He very much sounds like a man.
Cal Dodd is not always available.
Dude, I would take Steve Bloom.
Wow, that's unfortunate. That's harsh.
Cal Dodd's down here. He's Wolverine. He's tough. Steve Bloom's doing this thing. This guy is Wolverine. Hello, It's me, Wolverine.
Yeah, he's doing like the Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, and I was never a huge fan of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He's a great actor.
I have become a huge fan of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine over the course.
He does add a lot of emotion to the character. Yeah. I also think his character model looks a little off, but that might just be the costume. And that's not me doing my bit about how I prefer the brown costume. Because when he was wearing his cowboy hat and shirt in a brief glimpse, I thought he looked better there.
You know what I think it is? I think it's that the costume is actually being... It's really tactile. It's really very real and there.
Yeah.
And it's not skin over him. It's like material, which means like little things happen. Like you can see his face because the jaw is open, but there's gaps because there would be gaps on his cheeks back into the mask, and there's gaps under his like on the bridge of his nose, and there's a little gap along the around his eyes, and he's not wearing eye black, so it's just a normal man's face in there with regular human eyes, as opposed to those white, things that are actually in the cinematics sometimes. In the actual gameplay, it's just a dude, and that probably, it feels like it might be drawing too much away from the iconic.
A lot of it, for me, seems to be the arms. I don't know if they made his limbs buff enough. Because Wolverine is not Puck, but he's like one stage up from Puck. Just a ripped little man. I do like that he's little.
Yeah, I love that he is. They made him a short king.
I don't know. I something about it.
It looked really fun. I think they don't go into too much because it was a gameplay trailer. I'm not sure Wolverine's in the X-Men yet.
No,
in this game.
It's been confirmed that it takes place before that.
Okay, that makes sense. Then yes, I was right. They that was clearly implied. Because that's interesting. You don't see a lot of that anymore.
No. I feel like they can do fun stuff with it. I was hesitant about that at first, but then I realized when they showed Leech, and I went, oh, they're not like, they don't mean that literally. They're just telling a story that he happens to not be with the X-Men yet, and other stuff can happen. Speaking of which, you know who sounds just fine and looks amazing? Sabretooth.
Yeah. He doesn't look feral enough for me. I want the collar. I want the big fucking collar.
Especially with like a somewhat militaristic Sabretooth, you get that interpretation a lot.
Yeah, no, he's much more the ones that is like on the Mavericks.
Yeah.
With like
Maverick.
with Mavericks.
Moving on to Summer Games Fest. The GameSpot here says this game is called Hex. It's like Hex. There's an A in there that is not being listed. It's a procedural first-person adventure where a research team traverses a supernatural world with hulking monsters and strange artifacts. I watched this trailer, and I can't tell if this is going to be a cool, interesting game, or like an extraction shooter with some decent fluff to it. And one of those I'm not fucking interested in. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, adapting a very impactful comic book storyline.
Which GameSpot here spoils in the little blurb.
Yeah, but it's that's kind of...
It's really old.
It's well, not that old, like 10, maybe 12 years old, but that's enough.
In media, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. And they might not deliver it. I don't think it would be a mystery who your main character is in a video game.
That's fair.
However, it is by Platinum Games, who also did the... it was like Mutants in Manhattan or something like that. It was an Xbox 360, I think, game, or Xbox One. I have it. I haven't played much of it. I don't really care for Platinum Games style. The Devil May Cry style.
That is the right style for The Last Ronin.
Yeah, I just don't... It makes me sad because you don't give me Ninja Turtles games I don't want to play. Guild Wars 3 is coming out. That's interesting.
At long last.
Yeah. I did like Guild Wars 2. I didn't end up playing a lot of it, but it had some really, really good concepts that I feel like it executed on well. 1666 Amsterdam. This is from former Assassin's Creed people. The studio's called Panache. And their prologue is available to download now on Steam and Epic Game Store. It's coming to early access later this year. You're some kind of evil witch nun.
Dope. That's a cool kind of thing to be.
I think this looked like it had potential. So I will probably be checking this out. I just haven't had time since it was announced and since the demo was available. Star Wars Zero Company. Looked like it was going to be really good until I realized it was an XCOM where the story and characters don't matter.
Yeah, this is a cool story. Well, actually, you know what? No, it's not. I have something to say. I recognize that the Clone Wars were a galaxy-spanning, multi-year, like, people grew up during war that has a multitude of stories. You could set 20, 30 games just in the Clone Wars and never touch any of the other games because it spans a whole galaxy, right? I get that. But at some point, we have to reckon with the fact that if you're playing in a Clone Wars game, everything you're doing is fucking pointless. Because no matter who you're fighting for, who you're fighting against, you're doing Palpatine's work for him.
Some people don't have the problem, abstracting that or like making their peace with it. But you have a point. A lot of people do have that same feeling as you do. I just thought it was cool that they let you play as a bunch of aliens, and I was like, who are these guys? No one. They're no one.
They're XCOM characters.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna die.
Yeah. If you're into XCOM, hey, there's a Star Wars one coming out. Blood of Dawnwalker is a vampire game.
It looks cool.
Yeah, I didn't get much, if any, gameplay from it.
I got very much a Witcher vibe from this.
Maybe, yeah. But I've got my eye on it. I could use a good vampire game. It's been a long, long time since we had a good one. Clutch was a trailer I watched. The story looks really compelling. It's from the people. That's my 25% or less Italian coming out. From some of the ex-Forza devs. And the story looks really compelling, but I don't care about race cars. So I'm never going to experience it. Sea of Remnants. It's a NetEase game that is described as a big fight between two pirate factions. What they showed was a music video, at the end of which there was some gameplay, I think.
Was that the one that was just the man singing into the fish?
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck, man? That's not a trailer for a video game. That's barely a trailer for an animated series.
I was compelled, though. I'm going to keep my eye on it. It could be fun. I think the title's a little generic when Sea of Thieves and Remnant are game franchises.
Well, there's only so many words.
You know, you could have done maybe Remains of the Sea.
That wouldn't have been better. You would not have preferred that.
Or Ocean Leftovers.
No,
look, it's got a better SEO. We move on to the Xbox Game Showcase. They made a new Xbox and controller that are Xbox colored.
I'm sorry. Those appear to be clear.
Yeah, those are clear green tinted plastic.
We're coming back?
It's back in POG form. They changed the old logo.
Nice.
All of the videos that they played, the trailers that were from them, had the old style Xbox logo. It's back. I think we're also getting the old startup soon as part of the Xbox experience.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. The new lady in charge of Xbox is really, everyone was like, man, she looks like she's going to cause some problems.
She came from the AI division of Microsoft.
Yeah.
We were right to be skeptical.
And she went, shut the fuck up, everyone. I'm here to save Xbox. And she's been doing pretty good so far. Clockwork Revolution. This looks really compelling. I hope the gameplay holds up.
This is the thing I mentioned, foreshadowing. And yes, I am just going to say the fucking thing again. You snarky bitch. When you're playing a video game, the gameplay is something you have to like for the video game to work. This is one of like fucking 3 games that he sent me trailers for that were, oh man, the vibe on this is immaculate. This looks like it'd be so fun. Oh fuck, it's BioShock. It just kept happening.
If it was BioShock, I'd be a little bit more interested. First of all, I do love Pipe Dream. But I'm scared it's going to be We Happy Few.
Or Dishonored.
Or, Dishonored was okay. Dishonored's story was more what bothered me. Here's all the cool powers. All right, but don't use them or you get the bad ending. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is a steampunk time travel adventure about a crime syndicate trying to perform a big heist.
This sounds so fucking cool. This is so right up my alley. I would love this. I am so worried that the gameplay is going to be something I will actively hate.
You know what? Worst case scenario, watch a streamer play it and absorb that delight. Yeah. Fable. This is the first time I've seen something from Fable that looks like it has gameplay and also feels like Fable.
Well, yeah, wasn't the last thing from Fable like a horse simulator or something?
Oh, no. They've done a couple trailers. What's that guy's name? Something Iowade. He was in one of them.
Anyway.
It's mostly been character stuff of people being kind of snarky, which is Fable. And we got a lot of that in this trailer as well. I believe they're setting up the villain of the game.
Haley Atwell.
But you did actually see some gameplay stuff, and it looks pretty good. You got to see a lot of iconic locations and like style ideas. The big talking rock wall face guys. At the end, the Jack of Blades shows up.
Which, hey, you know what? If you want to make true Fable fanboys have some member berries to eat, Jack of Blades shows up is a great way to do it.
It sure is. I'm still not 100% bought in or anything, but I'm curious now. You have my attention.
Yeah, I'm genuine. I like
Richard.
I like Haley Atwell a lot.
His first name is Richard.
Who?
Iowade.
Thank you. I like Haley Atwell a lot. This was very compelling, and I liked the Fable games when I played them. I might actually look into this, because also I remember liking the gameplay of the Fable game.
Most importantly, this Fable game has nothing to do with Peter Molyneux.
Oh, okay. No, now I'm actually interested.
Yes. But it is changing hands, so it makes you go,
No, not really, no. Because I know the previous hands.
Sure. Halo Campaign Evolved. Did you watch this trailer?
I did.
Okay. Why don't you give your thought? You're the Halo guy between us.
Halo, I love the original 3 Halo games. I like Halo Reach quite a lot. I haven't really played much of the others. This, if I'm understanding correctly, is just the campaign from Halo Combat Evolved, and then also new missions.
Yeah, I think this is announcing new missions that are like prequel missions.
Yeah, they're like that take place before the actual start of the first game. That sounds really cool. A modernization, a remake, remaster, with all of the mechanics they've added to the franchise since the original game. Because I played the original game not too long ago, to be honest. I didn't beat it, but I played through a bunch of it. And I think that would be really fun. I think that would be really neat. Poor Master Chief is Hugh Jackman. He's never getting out, brother.
Yeah, I thought it looked really colorful. I liked the graphics changes, and I do remember having fun with the Halo games, what I played of them, but they weren't as important to me as they are to you. Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
This looks fun. This looks cool.
The only thing I have to complain about here is you never thought the Belmont would be a girl.
God, yeah, no, that was turbo
so
cringe.
Stupid.
That was really fucking cringy.
I feel like it's going to make more sense in context, but in the trailer, isolated like it is like, shut up, dude.
Guys, come on.
But the game, I have dabbled in Dead Cells. Roguelikes don't really do it for me that much on their own merits. Dead Cells is really well done, and this is the Dead Cells team who made Belmont's Curse. So you can see its DNA everywhere, but playing that in a game that is paying so much respect to Symphony of the Night.
There's wall chickens and stuff too. I like that.
Oh yeah, and you can do the super jump that shoots you up to the ceiling.
Yep.
It looks really compelling. Actual progression.
A Metroidvania is not really my favorite thing in the universe, but the movement looks really fun.
Every Metroidvania I've played that bites unapologetically and deeply from Symphony of the Night, I've enjoyed. Deedlit's Wonder Labyrinth, phenomenal.
So it's the Yu Yu Hakusho rule.
Sure.
Just keep ripping off Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. I don't care about this.
I do.
Crazy Taxi World Tour.
Man, Crazy Taxi calls back to such a very specific time in my life. The Sega Dreamcast era is such a specific time in my life, and seeing anything from that era is like seeing an old friend that you haven't talked to in a long time, but you see him again and it just clicks instantly and you guys are right back where you left off. It's really always nice to see Dreamcast stuff getting its due, and Crazy Taxi, it opens with like a licensed song, and it's
the licensed
song.
It is.
Well, I'm not gonna watch the thing.
Watch the thing.
And it's fun, and it has the vibe, and it says, World Tour, you're gonna see new maps, that's gonna be fun. I don't know that I'll actually play it, but I'm really excited to see it's still alive.
Magicians, The Devil's Deal. This one looked kind of exciting, even if it is very Bioshocky.
This one is the one that the other one was more like, oh no, it's Dishonored. This one is, oh fuck, this is just Bioshock. But man, what a cool concept!
You're in a nightmarish reimagining of Victorian London, and you are playing a prestidigitator, a stage magician who has gotten supernatural powers that is betrayed by his cabal of friends. And now you gotta fight demons and like ensorcelled minions.
With your cool magician powers.
With magician powers. This is just so unique. I love all the different themes all these games are drawing from. In the Xbox Showcase specifically, I feel like we're getting different shit. And that makes me want to play these games, even if they're not great, just to encourage exploring new ideas.
Give me something new. Give me some new IP. I don't need another reboot. I need a new thing.
Can I share a personal story real quick?
Absolutely.
In my life, just because of the way I'm wired, I've never been someone who wants to go back to an ex. Sometimes I have a hard time getting out of a breakup. If I can see the end is coming, I go through a bargaining phase. But once it's over, I'm never like, but she was so hot though, or whatever. So stuff like that just doesn't happen. In the world of video games, though,
yeah, it's a different kind of story, huh, there, bud?
Metaphor ReFantasio ruined my ability to enjoy long-form games. I am still gun-shy because I sunk so many hours into that game and was so disappointed. And I'm talking like 80. But now, that new Persona 6 teaser dropped, and...
but Persona 6, Persona ain't never done you no wrong.
Specifically, no, it has not.
Yeah, and Persona 5, you love. You have spent many time talk about how good you like.
Persona 5 had a long stretch in the middle that was just me watching a season of an anime, and I still really loved it. So I have high hopes for 6. This one's green. They're also doing a remake of Persona 4 called Persona 4 Revival. They finally showed a trailer for it. The reason I've never played Persona 4 is the only version I had available to me by the time I was into the series was the first remake, and I hate the way they went with the voice direction for the primary female character. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. She's really annoying, and I hate hearing her talk. She doesn't sound like that in this, so I might play this one because I thought the base concept was pretty interesting. Valor Mortis, a first-person Souls-like.
First-person Souls-like's a rough sell.
That's
a rough sell. Is it though, or is it BioShock again?
Well, or Skyrim. I was getting a lot of Skyrim from that. What I find fascinating here is we're in like this weird apocalyptic version of the Napoleonic Wars.
And you are working for, like, evil, supernatural Napoleon Bonaparte.
Has anyone done that before?
I'm pretty sure that's new, man.
It's great. I don't want these games to suck. I want them to at least be above mid.
Same.
Because these are such fun concepts.
They are.
Any final thoughts on the glut of games that we have presented?
Guys, if you could maybe space these out so we can get them in multiple segments over a couple different shows, that would be great. Why don't all of these have to be at the same time?
I will ask this. Is there a game you're most looking forward to that was announced?
I don't think so. There's a bunch nothing really lit my soul on fire for this. There's nothing I'm really looking forward to. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm like cautiously optimistic about.
I would agree with that entirely. Guys, those were long segments, so we're going to do short segments now, and it has nothing to do with the fact that this was a slow news week for wrestling. It's just because we care about you. We care about your time. We respect it.
To start off, we watched Dynamite again.
We did.
Again, very fun. Fun enough that I'm more on board with maybe trying to hop back on the horse, but also I might just not. We might. It's once you kick a habit like a wrestling show.
It's just that there's not a lot that's compelling me.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
And I think is correct and true.
It's just a lot of bald-bearded guys, doing bald-bearded things and trying to corrupt poor, no more Gen Z hair Billy.
He went back. He has hair from the 90s now.
Yeah. Speaking of bald-bearded guys, there's 2 less now, as the Butcher and the Blade had their contracts renewed. That's not how that sentence goes, but you know what I meant.
You know what? Unfortunate, but totally understandable. I hadn't seen them in several years.
No. I really like the Butcher. I really was kind of advocating for cool things to happen with him. I would have used him if I were booking something.
Yeah, same. But, nobody did, so it makes sense they wanted to stop paying them.
Also, news from today, current as of recording, so yesterday for you guys, or further back if you're not watching on release day. AEW is on Tubi now.
Because the Globo Megacorp, I think there was a thing the CEO of HBO said many, many years ago, which was, we're trying to become Netflix before Netflix becomes us. And now we finally have the conclusion to that fight. Netflix won. So since Netflix are exclusive best buddy pals with the E, AEW needs a new home.
I don't know if this is a new home thing or it's just part of the overall licensing deal so that they can get some money before they pour out, because a lot of the old Warner shows that HBO had the rights to are also either already on Tubi or coming to Tubi, like the cartoons and stuff that they cut from HBO Max's backlog however long ago. I'm still waiting for them, the promised Freakazoid and Tiny Toons. I don't need to rewatch Freakazoid, I already did that once this year, but I do want to see it. Ed Grimley also, The Misadventures of Ed Grimley, are supposed to be coming to Tubi, and it hasn't yet. But you know what you can watch on Tubi in addition to AEW? You can watch a little MJF saying the F word and punching people in the balls, and then you can tune into good old Barney Miller.
He's bringing it back. He's bringing it back to Barney.
And finally, it is time for mail fraud. We have another actual question from our actual fans. Thomas Austin Jr. asks, what would be your perfect video game for you specifically? You don't have to worry about it selling well. You don't have to worry about public opinion. For you, if you could will a video game into existence.
I answered this on the Discord, so if you were on the Discord, you would have found this out before the podcast even came out.
Wow.
For me, it is some combination, some unholy union between peak era BioWare writing and story and Souls-like FromSoft combat.
That sounds awesome. I agree. That sounds like a great game. I would use my powers to bring back a franchise that I loved. It wasn't even a franchise, it was a single game. I want a Mace the Dark Age sequel. And no surprise to anyone who's seen Violent Profiles. Go check out my episode on Mace the Dark Age Violent Profile. Also, if I can crow for a second.
Crow!
I got a comment from the assistant director of Eternal Champions Challenge from the Dark Side. On my Eternal Champions video, and he said he really enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
It seems like it's actually him and not some guy pretending to be him, so that's even better. This is, small stuff. Like, most of why I do these series is because I like it, I care, and the comments I love the most are people who are like, I played this game when I was a kid, I forgot all about it. But man, sometimes you get ones like this where you're like, wow, the guy who made the thing liked my thing where I looked at his thing, and he was like, yeah. Anyway, my answer was a Mace the Dark Age sequel. By way of Soul Calibur 3, I think that was the Soul Calibur I spent the most time in. I loved the Chronicles of the Sword mode, which was kind of like half tactical RPG, half fighting game. The character creation was so deep and so fun. It got deeper later, but a lot of the fun fell off.
Yeah.
I would like that set in the world of Mace the Dark Age because I do genuinely believe Mace the Dark Age has a really cool, compelling setting that would fit the semi-global warfare story style of Soul Calibur. So, that mode would map really well onto Mace's already existent, ideas and intellectual properties. And I also, if you want to back up one, a new FromSoft Soulsborne single-player game with a different aesthetic. It can still be fantasy, just different.
Just not dark fantasy where the world is dying and everything's sad.
Yeah, because that's all of them. And, I mean, even if you gave me one that was, more than one color this time, it's really sad how much 3 zones in Shadow of the Erdtree really compelled me by having different colored flowers in them.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty out here, my guys. One more question we'll do. Like I said, this is a long one.
Theft, because that is what the name of the segment is.
Let's take... You know what? Let's steal from your anonymous theft box because let's talk about movies a little bit.
We can talk about games a lot this week.
Here's a great question, and I think there's not a concrete answer. Do you prefer binge watching or weekly release?
I think at this point in my life, I know myself well enough to know I prefer binge watching. Usually. There are some exceptions where I'm so thirsty for the thing that I gotta watch it week to week. But usually what I will prefer, I will like a thing better if I can just absorb the whole narrative at my own pace.
And a lot of that is because, and I hope I'm not outing anything about you here, you're a pessimist.
Yeah, no, I've done this exact thing on the podcast before.
Okay,
you feel free.
So sometimes when a show ends on a cliffhanger or a teaser or something, you will assume the worst. And given a week to marinate on that, you can grow to resent a show.
This is absolutely true. So I've been around for a while. I'm middle-aged. I'm almost 40. And I know I've absorbed a lot of narrative. Because, I'm not really a guy who, makes a bunch of stuff or has a bunch of outdoor hobbies. I'm pretty much a shut-in nerd. And watching stuff and reading stuff is what I do. So I can see story beats coming in most stories well before they happen. And sometimes that's a bad thing. Because sometimes I've seen enough shit, enough bad stuff, that I keep expecting the expected terrible story beat that is definitely going to come next. And the show surprises me by doing the good thing they could have instead done that was an option the whole time, and I just didn't trust them to actually do it.
Right. Or even something new that you hadn't considered.
Yeah, oh man,
sometimes
that's
happens.
always the best. If you can do something new that is good, not just something new, you fucking subverting my expectations. No, that's not what I mean.
Subversion for the sake of subversion doesn't actually mean quality. It just means surprise.
And that's not... That's usually a watchword for not quality, actually.
Yeah. Honestly, you could say most surprising TV series of 2026, and they only called it that because Five Nights at Freddy's jump scares happen at random intervals while you're watching.
Yeah.
That is true, but not good.
Not really what I'm looking for. I'll put it like that. So I know about myself that I'm probably going to enjoy your thing more if I'm able to just absorb it at my own pace. But sometimes I'm so thirsty for the thing, I gotta fucking watch it when it comes out. I'm excited. What about you?
There's a part of me that does miss the ritual aspect of watching a show when it comes out. You know, I was born in the generation before even TiVo or DVR or HIVO, and I'm sad to have lived through that.
Most of you will know TiVo from the new Naked Gun movie.
God, we need to watch that. So my TV wasn't on demand. I had to gather around when it was on or hope to catch a rerun years later or through the summer. And there's a certain amount of excitement in that, a certain amount of the ritual of, let's all sit and enjoy the show.
Oh shit, commercials are on, run,
Yeah,
go get
to
snacks.
The bathroom. But it messes, it's another slot, another demand in my schedule. As a kid, that was exciting. As an adult, it starts to feel like obligation. I was in the middle of doing some really good writing, or I'm deep in the editing hole. 8 o'clock, time to go watch the thing that happens. It just kind of detracts from it for me.
Appointment viewing is not always a good thing.
Yeah.
In fact, for me, it's usually a bad thing.
What I prefer to do is what I would call binge watching, and that is the entire series exists, and I will watch it consecutively over about a week.
Yeah, at your own pace, but over a more... Because when I say at my own pace, I mean I have Saturday off work. I'm going to start the series in the morning when I wake up. I'm going to eat breakfast watching it. I'm going to eat lunch watching it later. I'm going to eat dinner watching it at the end of the night. I'm just going to waste a day watching this new thing.
And that's what most people mean by binge watching, but I don't do that.
You enjoy having it all available to watch at your pace.
Yep. And I will watch it in a reasonably timely manner with most things. Some of the longer running series that I've been watching with my girlfriend obviously take longer. I just can't sit in one place doing the same thing for that long. I have to be elsewhere doing something else after a while. And that's how I feel. So thank you, Thomas Austin Jr. and anonymous contributor. Anything you would like to close out with before we get to Who's Cool?
I thought about it, and that one thing that they market as a first-person Souls-like, if the story's good enough, I might could get the game I mentioned.
Wow, yeah, you could. And it would be a new setting. Are our dreams being answered? Well, time will tell. In the meantime, I do want to thank our Trash Elite, a guy from Ohio, and Rob, as well as Kitty Holbrook, Drake Starstorm, DG, Passion Killer 711, and Destrucity KTL.